Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Let It Die. We're back at the waiting room, ready for another round of tutorials. The game kind of drops a lot of information on you very early on, and actually I ended up forgetting a lot of it going through the game. But you can easily reference the tutorials in your Underworld Rolodex at the tutorials. You can go through the Barb's Bible and check out the information you may have forgotten. Mingo Head. Mingo Head is this game's fighter training machine, a fancy character who always greets the player when they return to the waiting room. He's not all show, however, but a valuable character who will raise a fighter's level for you. Experience. You will receive experience for defeating enemies and eating mushrooms in the tower. By collecting experience, you can raise your fighter's level. Experience can only be used by the fighter who acquires it. Leveling up. Upon returning to the waiting room, Mingo Head will absorb all the kill coins and spliffium you collected. If you have enough experience to level up, you can split the points between your 6 stats to become stronger. Now, here's the important part, the different stats and what they do. HP, hit points. This will influence your maximum health. Strength, STR. This will mainly affect your physical strength for non-ammo weapons. Dex, dexterity. This will mainly influence your firearm attacks. Vit, vitality. This will influence your defensive capabilities. STM, stamina. This will affect your maximum level of stamina gauge. Luck. This will influence the amount of kill coins you receive, as well as improving your character, your chance of a critical hit every time you perform an attack. If cancelled, you can level up at any time by accessing the machine again. So this is Mingo Head, which will level your character up. So you interact with him. This is also a good place to see how much levels you still need, and the experience costs to level. At the middle of the screen on the left, you can see the experience required to level up and the experience we have. We've got 36 experience available to us now that we've collected, and it costs 46 experience to level up 1 level, so we don't have enough to level up. At the right side of the screen, you can also see the experience gained by the character at any time. It's at the very bottom of the right side of the screen. The little character icon with their arms in the air with the 3 arrows pointing upwards next to it. There it says 36 experience. That's the experience we've gained so far. And at the top of the screen, under the name and class of the fighter, it says level 7, required experience 46. So it requires 46 experience to level up 1 more level. Spliffium tank. There are many enemies in this game, but if you defeat a hater, you will receive Spliffium, which can be stored in this coffin. When you return to the waiting room from the tower, it will automatically be stored in your bank, as will kill coins. There's no need to worry about depositing or withdrawing it manually. Using Spliffium. Spliffium is used for equipment, research and development, and expanding the facilities in your base. Yeah, it's used mainly for R&D, for upgrading weapons and making new weapons. Buffalo Bank. This is the bank that holds the kill coins you receive from treasure chests after defeating enemies. They will be automatically stored in your bank when you return to the waiting room in the tower. When you make a purchase at a store that accepts skill coins, the amount will be deducted from your bank. In the same way, the value of any items you sell will be added to your bank, so you don't need to worry about withdrawing or depositing yourself. These things are kind of a visual representation of your resources. Purely aesthetic. Fighter Freezer. The characters the player controls in this game are called fighters, and you can possess several at one time. The place where you store them is called the Fighter Freezer. Fighter type. There are 8 fighter types the player can control in this game. Each has its own number of skill decal and death bag slots, and will grow differently as it gets stronger. The mask equipped initially will also vary. Okay, and now it goes on to state the different types of fighters that are available in the game. The all-rounder, which everyone starts off as. All abilities are balanced, each attribute can be raised equally. The striker specializes in close range attacks, HP and strength are prioritized. Defender specializes in defense, HP and vitality are prioritized. Attacker specializes in attacking, strength and dex are prioritized. Shooter specializes at shooting, dex is prioritized. Collector specializes in collecting materials, death bag capacity is high. Now, they forget to mention their stats are also balanced, kind of like the all-rounder. So collector is is like an all-rounder but with higher bag space. Skill master specializes in skill expansion, has many skill decal slots. Lucky star specializes in increasing fortune. Luck is prioritized to increase. Okay, select. You can now select a fighter in storage to switch with the fighter you are controlling. Campaign. You can send fighters on expeditions to attack other players. Fighters who are on expeditions are referred to as hunters and can earn kill coins, spliffium and equipment when they return to you. If hunters are equipped with gear developed in Chokufunsha, the durability will not decrease as they fight. However, if they use other equipment, the durability will go down steadily. The amount varies depending on the equipment. Watch out for red names. If you see a fighter with a red name, it's a hunter that someone has sent after you. Make sure to take revenge against them when you find them. Settings. Again, it seems like they're going over a lot of information at once. It's kind of tough to remember all this stuff. You can change a fighter's title and assign skill decals here. You can also manage your selected fighter's death bag and storage items. Fighters you no longer need can be disposed of. You will be able to get back the spliffium stored in these fighters. Okay. Purchasing fighters. If there's a space on the rotating hangars in the freezer, you can go to the fighter depot and purchase new fighters by selecting the monitor installed there. Salvage request. Skill coins to request a hater retrieval. Although expensive, this will allow you to recover your previously equipped weapons and armor instead of losing them. If you have an express pass, you can request this service at a special discount. Okay. So this is the fridge where our fighters are kept. And here we can see the fighter we started the game off with has returned because we've recovered him ourselves by defeating him. This is the character we're using at the moment. Bottom left of the screen you can see the number in your fighter freezer and their status. Character is in use. We are this character right now. Our other character is on standby. Now the options you can see available to you straight away are remove, and you can delete the fighter, which will get rid of them permanently and give you Spliffium. In return, depending on what level they are, the higher the level the fighter, the more Spliffium you'll recover from this. Now, Expeditions is an online feature where you can send your fighter off to go and attack other people in the game. And you can select between a number of different fighters which have been recently spotted. Now, it seems I can only attack people on floor 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and send this fighter to this guy, Crow Zombie. Now when you select someone to attack, you can see their gear, you can see their equipment, and you can also choose how much hours you send people off to attack. Now, you can set this as high as you want. Your fighter will end their expedition once they've encountered the enemy and defeated them, or they've got defeated, or they've encountered the enemy a couple of times and it's been a draw and they haven't managed to defeat the enemy. But I don't know if there's a better reward for the longer time you spend on expedition. I do know that it's easier to work around sending them out for 1 hour. So, you know, in an hour's time your fighter will be available again and you'll have your rewards sooner. So I'll send my fighter out for a 1 hour expedition. Off you go. And here you can see is stat screen. At the top middle of the screen, the fighter is in a running pose, meaning he's out on an expedition. On the bottom left you can see the stats, the target you sent your character to attack, and the time remaining on the expedition is shown as a turquoise bar, which is steadily decreasing. And when that timer runs out, your fighter will be back and available to select again. You can also force them to return if you really need to use this fighter again soon. You can do this, but you'll lose your rewards that you would have got. The outline of a fighter is an empty spot, which you can select to create a new fighter. Now, I'd heavily recommend leveling up as many fighters as you can and not relying on one fighter, because if you die on this fighter, then you'll have to make a new fighter anyway if you don't have the kill coins to purchase them back. So let's have a look at the buy fighter option. Okay, so we can make a grade 1 all-rounder for 0 kill coins. So that's nice. Go ahead and make a new character. Here we go, and we've got a new character. So his name is Rex. He's an 1-star all-rounder, and he's level 1. Hasn't got any experience yet, so just leave him over here. What else have we got? Vanishing points. By accessing the vanishing point fountain in the center of the waiting room, you can suspend your game and return to the hated arcade. The waters of the fountain will also heal your wounds and soothe your troubled soul. So that's a good thing to remember. It's a good idea if you're struggling in the tower. You can always just take the elevator back down, walk over this center point of the waiting room and heal your character to full health. The arcade you're in now at Takadano Baba, or whatever, in the Shinjuku ward of Tokyo, the official Def Drive 128 is installed here. Okay, that's the hated arcade. Uncle Def, age unknown, hobbies include skateboarding, video games, and golf. Calls the player senpai as a mark of respect, gamer to gamer. Talking to him will activate the Def Drive 128, allowing you to resume the game. Meijin, 21 years old, a pro gamer. Contracted as a character for the official image of the Def Drive. He is proficient in many games and has already cleared this one 6 times. He's usually busy playing fighting games, but will give the player various hints during the game. Naomi Detox, 17 years old, a typical high school junior who works at the counter of the hated arcade. She's constantly texting on her cell phone. If you open the Def Drive compatible laptop D-Mate on the counter, you can take on quests in the game. Mother Barbs, a unit which provides guidance on the Tower of Barbs via a diorama image. It will show information and explanations on the Tower of Barbs based on your progress in the game. Okay. We'll go ahead and visit that in a minute. Just checking if there's no more tutorials to be found. Now, there's gonna be a tutorial over here later, and here as well. I'll be explaining these areas. So let's check out the arcade. So press the interact button while you're in the middle of the waiting room. So here you have various different functions. Just gonna check the radio, make sure that's turned off. Turn that off. To avoid content ID. And here at Naomi Detox, you can see the green glove hovering above who you want to interact with. So you've got a radio where you can change the radio stations. I'm going to be turning my radio off because of the content ID matching system. I don't want my videos banned worldwide. There's the quest area where you can accept quests, Naomi Detox.
Huh? Oh, I really don't know anything. Sorry.
Okay, so here's where quests will show up once they become available to you. You can have 10 quests active at the same time. Looks like there are not any quests available to us at this moment, so I'll have to check back later. Then we have Mother Barbs. And it's got a bunch of cutscenes available to be viewed. Kind of tutorials on the game, so I think we'll watch those later. This is Meijin on the right, giving you tips.
Oh, you playing that? Well, let me know if you have any questions. I'll give you some tips if I have the time.
Okay. And to return to the waiting room, just talk to Uncle Def.
I had a dream that you beat this game yesterday, and that's gotta be a good sign, right?
Now, I'll probably check out the Mother Barb's videos next time while we pick up quests, if I unlock any quests. Let's see, I think I'll go ahead and sell these mushrooms I have. Also, I'll cook what can be cooked. So we've got a little cooking fire next to Mushroom Magistrate, and you can cook various mushrooms in the game. So you use the left touchpad button, you press the touchpad, and you ready the mushrooms to be thrown, and then when you walk close to a fire you'll see the icon at the bottom of the screen showing a throw mushroom transform into cook mushroom. And when you're close enough to a fire source, you get close and press X to cook mushrooms or beasts. And their effects will change when you cook them. The grilled fungus has a tear gas effect which lasts for 10 seconds. Now in the Underworld Rolodex, typically under the information for beasts and mushrooms, it'll show you their effects for when they're cooked, but also when they're uncooked. So the fungus we just cooked has an effect raw, tear gas, 5 seconds, and cooked, its effect lasts double as long. So usually it's a good idea to cook mushrooms and beasts anytime you can, because it will just strengthen their effects. Cook this frog. Now cooked beasts are the main healing item to be used in the game. It'll be very helpful to bring with you on your sorties. Go ahead and sell the parasol shrooms I've got, which are for the summer events. Worth 500 kill coins each.
Thanks. Thanks.
And I think I'll go ahead and purchase the metal bat, because I don't have one of those yet. I'd like to level it up.
Thanks.
So when you purchase any kind of gear from the shop in the waiting room, you'll notice it has a hammer and anvil icon on the top right, and a timer in the middle of the item, showing you how long you'll have to wait for the item to be available again. Now the wait times vary, but tend to be much shorter the upgrade level of your items that you're buying. So at the moment it only takes a minute for the item to cool down and be purchasable again, but when we start upgrading these, it'll take longer and longer for them to become available, but they will also be stronger. And upgrading multiple armors and weapons means that you can get around this cooldown by having much more options to buy. So actually, will I buy another one? Oh, I think I'll buy Bustle Knuckles. There we go. That's most of my kill coins spent. I'll get rid of one or two items that I don't want anymore. So one fireworks launcher, iron hammer, road chocker head, and a rubber crossbow, because it's almost out of ammunition.
Thanks. Come back anytime.
Alright, I think that's going to be it for this video. See you all in the next one.